Have you ever looked at your plate and thought you were doing everything right, only to feel weaker, more tired, or less steady with each passing year? For decades, we were told that eating more vegetables is the key to living a longer, stronger life, and in most cases that's true. But something shifts after 60. The body begins to respond differently. What once nourished us might now be silently wearing us down. I have seen this more times than I can count. Seniors coming into my practice, frustrated. They ate what they believed were the healthiest foods. Salads, stir-fried veggies, home-cooked meals with colorful ingredients. And yet, they still struggled. Their knees ached, their legs felt heavy, their minds weren't as sharp. Many assumed it was just age. But what if the truth was more specific than that? What if certain vegetables, the very ones praised for their health benefits, were now working against them? Aging brings about invisible changes. Our circulation slows. Our body's ability to absorb nutrients becomes less efficient. Inflammation becomes a quiet but constant companion. These changes affect how food interacts with our system. That broccoli you ignored for years might now be a healing ally. Meanwhile, that creamy mashed potato, once comfort on your dinner plate, could be fueling the fatigue in your feet or the fog in your thoughts. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to offer clarity. Because with the right information, you can make choices that support your strength, not drain it. That's the power of precision. Not a new diet fad. Not another internet rumor. But real science-backed understanding of how your aging body interacts with what you eat. In this journey we're about to take together, I'll show you 3 common vegetables that may be silently damaging your joints, slowing your reflexes, and weakening your circulation. These are everyday foods, ones you may have in your kitchen right now. But I'll also show you 3 powerful alternatives. Vegetables that can lift you up, restore your balance, and reignite your confidence to move, to think, to live fully. This is about protecting your independence, about making sure your legs still carry you where you want to go, about making sure your mind stays clear enough to enjoy the memories you're still making. And most importantly, it's about taking control of your health with simple, wise, deeply informed choices. So before we talk specifics, I want you to reflect. Have you been eating the same way for years, yet feeling a bit more unstable, forgetful, or slow to react? Do you find yourself blaming age for things that might have a different cause? If that sounds familiar, then stay with me. Because the solution may be as simple as switching what's on your plate. And with each bite, you're not just eating, you're voting. Voting for energy or exhaustion, for clarity or confusion, for strength or slow decline. And the best part? You get to vote again every single day. It's one of the most comforting foods in America. Mashed, baked, or fried, the white potato has a place at almost every family table. It reminds us of childhood dinners, of holidays with loved ones, of simpler times. That soft, starchy texture paired with butter, cream, maybe a sprinkle of salt, it feels like home. But here's the truth I've had to tell many of my patients over the years. After the age of 60, comfort foods like white potatoes can slowly become quiet saboteurs. They don't scream trouble. They don't make you sick overnight. But day by day, meal by meal, they can wear down your circulation, fog your mind, and steal your stability without you even noticing. You see, white potatoes are high on the glycemic index. That means they turn into sugar fast in your body. What follows is a rapid spike in blood sugar, then a crash. These constant ups and downs do more than tire you out. They cause inflammation in your blood vessels, especially the small ones in your legs and your brain. That inflammation doesn't just hurt. It weakens your system from the inside out. Let me tell you about Harold. He's 72, retired, a good man who drove trucks for 40 years. He told me, "I never gave up mashed potatoes. It was the one thing I looked forward to." But recently, his knees started locking up in the mornings. His feet felt cold. He struggled on the stairs. At first, he blamed old age. But when we reviewed his meals, it was clear. Every night, those potatoes were filling him with starch and inflammation, and starving his body of the nutrients it truly needed. Because here's the other issue. White potatoes are pale for a reason. They lack antioxidants, those powerful compounds that defend your body against oxidative stress and cell damage. And when you mix potatoes with butter or cream, or top them with cheese and bacon, you're adding saturated fats and salt. That combination can spike your blood pressure, strain your heart, and amplify inflammation. This isn't about carbs alone. It's about the balance between what a food gives you and what it takes away. For many seniors, white potatoes are giving comfort, but taking away energy, clarity, and confidence on your feet. But here's the good news. Harold made one small change. He swapped his nightly mashed potatoes for a cup of steamed broccoli. And within 2 weeks, he noticed the difference. His knees weren't as stiff. He walked more easily. He didn't dread the stairs anymore. That's the power of a smart swap. You don't have to give up every food you love. You just have to choose versions that support your health instead of silently sabotaging it. So the next time you reach for those creamy mashed potatoes, I invite you to pause. Ask yourself, is this helping my legs or quietly weakening them? Is it building my circulation or breaking it down? Because what you eat matters. Not just to your weight or your blood sugar, but to your independence. Your ability to move, think, and stay engaged with the life you love. And sometimes, the biggest transformations come from the smallest changes. It looks elegant on your plate. Roasted, grilled, layered into casseroles. Eggplant has that rich, glossy skin and spongy interior that soaks up flavor. For many, it feels like a healthy choice. But for those of us over 60, especially those dealing with stiff joints or nerve discomfort, eggplant might be doing more harm than good. Why? Because eggplant belongs to a plant family called nightshades. This group also includes tomatoes, bell peppers, and white potatoes. They all contain a natural chemical called solanine. In plants, solanine is a protective toxin that keeps insects away. But in your body, especially if you're aging, it can quietly irritate tissues that are already inflamed or vulnerable. You might not notice it right away. That's the tricky part. Solanine doesn't cause a dramatic allergic reaction. Instead, it builds a low hum of irritation. The kind that makes your knees swell slightly in the morning. The kind that makes your legs feel heavier during your afternoon walk. The kind that slows your balance and tightens your lower back without you being able to explain why. I remember a woman named Teresa. She was 68, loved cooking Mediterranean dishes. Eggplant was in everything she made, but her joints had been stiff for years. She thought it was arthritis, nothing more to do. But I asked her to cut out eggplant for just 3 weeks. No big change, just a pause. What happened surprised her. By the end of week 2, her fingers weren't as swollen. Her hips didn't lock when she stood. She told me, I didn't know food could do this. But that's the thing. Food talks to your body every day. We just need to learn to listen. The danger with eggplant isn't just in joints. Solanine can affect your nervous system too. It slows communication between your brain and your muscles. Reflexes become just a bit slower. Balance becomes just a bit shakier. It's not about being clumsy. It's about your brain sending signals that take just a fraction longer to reach your feet. And when you're walking down the stairs or stepping off a curb, that delay matters. This slow disruption affects your confidence too. When your legs don't feel steady, you stop trusting them. You avoid outings. You say no to social events. You stay home not because you want to, but because your body is starting to feel like an unreliable friend. Now let's be clear. Not everyone reacts the same way to nightshades. But if you're dealing with joint pain, nerve sensitivity, or general stiffness, eggplant is worth removing temporarily. Just 2 or 3 weeks. Watch how your body responds. If things feel better, that's your answer. If not, you've lost nothing. And don't worry about giving up flavor. There are plenty of alternatives. Zucchini, carrots, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower and bok choy. These are deeply nourishing, anti-inflammatory, and gentle on the body. They give you what your body needs without stirring up old aches. Remember, this isn't about cutting foods out forever. It's about precision, knowing what helps you now in this stage of life. Your needs at 70 are not the same as they were at 30. Your body is wiser, more sensitive, and it deserves food that supports that wisdom. So the next time you see that elegant eggplant at the store or on a restaurant menu, think twice. Ask yourself, is this worth the stiffness tomorrow morning? Because once you connect the dots between what you eat and how you move, everything changes. And that's when healing begins. It's bright, crisp, and common in salads, stir-fries, and wraps across American kitchens. Green bell peppers look like the perfect healthy food. They're colorful, low in calories, and often thought of as a clean, plant-based choice. But for many seniors, especially those dealing with joint pain, digestion issues, or nerve discomfort, these seemingly innocent vegetables can quietly turn into daily irritants. The issue lies in something called lectins. Lectins are natural proteins that plants produce to defend themselves from insects. In the wild, they work beautifully. In the human body, especially one that's aging and more sensitive, they can create small but chronic problems. You may not feel them immediately. There's no loud reaction, no allergic response. But over time, they can interfere with your gut lining, your immune function, and even your balance. Here's how it works. Lectins stick to your gut walls. They create small gaps between the cells in your intestinal lining, allowing unwanted particles to seep into your bloodstream. This condition, known by many as leaky gut, sets off a subtle immune response. Your body sees these particles as threats and reacts with inflammation, not the kind that knocks you off your feet, but the slow-burning type that makes your joints feel heavy, your legs unsteady, and your brain just a little foggier. And here's the twist. Green bell peppers are simply unripe versions of red, yellow, or orange bell peppers. Because they're picked earlier, they contain more lectins and fewer antioxidants. So while they look similar, they act very differently in your body. Green peppers are cheaper and more common, which is why they end up in so many meals, from omelets to pasta to sandwiches. But they also deliver less of the nutrients your body craves and more of the compounds that may quietly work against you. I once worked with a man named Carl. He was 66, in decent shape, but had been dealing with bloating, stiff ankles, and occasional dizziness. His diet was clean, or so it seemed. Lots of vegetables, lean meats, no processed junk. But when we reviewed his meals, one pattern stood out. Carl loved his raw veggie mix, which included green bell peppers almost every day. I asked him to remove them for 3 weeks. That was it, just 3 weeks. The change was undeniable. Less bloating, more clarity. His knees didn't crack as loudly, and he stopped grabbing the railing when he stepped downstairs. That was all it took. Cooking green peppers can reduce lectins slightly, but not enough to neutralize their full effect, especially if you're already sensitive. And let's be honest, most of us eat peppers raw, grilled, or lightly sautéed. That light preparation keeps the lectins intact, which means your gut keeps getting poked from the inside, day after day. Now, should everyone over 60 stop eating green peppers? Not necessarily. But if you're experiencing mysterious symptoms, slow balance, joint discomfort, bloating after meals, or foggy thinking, it might be worth a short break. Remove green peppers for 2 to 3 weeks. Replace them with red or yellow ones. These are sweeter, richer in antioxidants like beta-carotene and vitamin C, and far gentler on your digestion. This is about tuning in. Listening to your body like an old friend who's been trying to tell you something for years. That little stiffness you feel in the morning, that subtle dip in energy after lunch, that creeping discomfort in your belly. These are not random. They're signals, and they often lead back to the plate. If you find that removing green peppers improves your focus, relieves your aches, or makes you feel just a bit steadier on your feet, that's not an accident. It's insight. It's your body giving you feedback, not punishment. And when you respond wisely, everything starts to work better. Your joints, your gut, your confidence. The goal is not restriction. It's refinement. Eating like someone who respects their body, their years, and their future. Choosing foods that help you move, think, and feel stronger, not just fill you up. So next time you stand in the produce aisle or scan the salad bar, look at those green peppers with new eyes. They may look fresh, they may seem harmless, but for your body at this stage of life, they might be doing more harm than good. And a small change, like reaching for a red one instead, could be one of the smartest decisions you make this week. Among the most familiar vegetables in any kitchen lies a quiet powerhouse, the carrot. It is not flashy, it does not scream superfood, but for those of us in our 60s or 70s, the humble carrot offers something incredibly valuable: protection, stability, clarity. Let's start with what you already know. Carrots are orange, crunchy, slightly sweet. They show up in lunchboxes, side dishes, and soups. But what most people overlook is the true gift that comes with that orange hue. It is called beta-carotene, and your body knows exactly what to do with it. Beta-carotene is a powerful antioxidant that your system converts into vitamin A, and vitamin A is essential for maintaining healthy vision, especially in low light. That matters more than you might think, because as we age, one of the silent threats to our independence is macular degeneration. It is a condition where the center of your vision begins to blur. You find it harder to read, harder to recognize faces, harder to drive safely. It does not strike like lightning. It creeps in like a shadow, and you barely notice until it starts to interfere with your life. Carrots help push that shadow back. Diets rich in beta-carotene have been shown to slow down the progression of age-related vision loss. They keep your retina nourished and alert. They keep you reading your books, recognizing your grandchildren, and seeing the world around you with clarity. But the benefits of carrots go beyond eyesight. They protect your nerves, especially the tiny ones that carry signals from your brain to your legs and feet. These nerves help you move smoothly, balance easily, and respond quickly when you step on uneven ground. And when those nerves weaken, even slightly, you start to notice hesitation, a slight stumble, a need to grab the railing, a fear of falling that begins to shape your choices. The antioxidants in carrots help shield those nerves from oxidative stress. That's the wear and tear your cells face every day. By reducing that damage, carrots support faster communication between your mind and your muscles. They help you feel more stable, more confident, more in control of your body. Let me tell you about Maria. She is 69, retired school teacher, sharp as a tack but nervous on stairs. She started carrying a walking stick, not because she needed it, but because she did not trust her legs. We talked about her diet. It was balanced, but lacked color. I asked her to add carrots every day, just a small handful, sometimes raw, sometimes steamed. After 3 weeks, she came back with a smile. "I didn't use the cane today," that's what she said. And she meant it. You see, food is not just about flavor. It's about function. And when you choose something as simple as a carrot, you're not just feeding your hunger, you're fueling your independence. Carrots also strengthen your immune system. After 60, your natural defenses slow down. Your body doesn't bounce back from illness the way it used to. But vitamin A helps keep your immune response strong. It helps your body recognize threats, fight infections, and heal faster. Now, how you prepare carrots matters. Steaming is better than boiling because it preserves more nutrients. Roasting them with a little olive oil, that boosts the absorption of vitamin A even more. Just avoid deep frying or overcooking. That breaks down the very compounds you're trying to get. And here's another thing to love. Carrots are affordable. They store well. They are available year-round. You do not need to chase exotic superfoods or spend a fortune. You just need to reach for something simple, bright, and smart. So, the next time you build your plate, take a moment. Ask yourself, am I feeding my body what it needs to stay sharp and steady? Because that small pile of orange slices might be doing more for your balance, your vision, and your vitality than you ever imagined. And when you feel the difference in how you walk, how you see, how you move through your day, you will know it was never just a carrot. It was a decision, a vote. For clarity, for confidence, for freedom, there is a quiet hero sitting in your produce aisle. It is not trendy. It is not exotic. It does not have a marketing campaign behind it. But if you are over 60 and want stronger joints, clearer thinking, and better circulation, broccoli deserves your attention. This humble green vegetable is one of the most powerful allies you can put on your plate. What makes broccoli so special? One word: sulforaphane. It is a natural compound found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. And it works like a master switch inside your body. Sulforaphane activates your body's own detox enzymes. It reduces inflammation on a cellular level. And it protects the parts of you that are most vulnerable with age: your brain, your heart, and your joints. Let's start with inflammation. As we grow older, inflammation becomes a low-level fire that never goes out. It might show up as stiff knees in the morning. It might feel like mental fog or muscle fatigue. It is subtle, but constant. And left unchecked, it accelerates everything we fear about aging. From memory loss to high blood pressure to fragile bones. Broccoli helps put that fire out. Sulforaphane calms the immune system's overreaction. It keeps inflammation in check before it turns into damage. It's like sending in a peacekeeper before the fight even begins. But broccoli does more than fight inflammation. It is loaded with vitamin K and calcium, both of which are essential for strong bones. That matters deeply, because as bone density decreases with age, your risk of falls and fractures increases. A small misstep can turn into months of recovery, or worse. Broccoli helps keep your bones dense, your frame strong, your steps more secure. It also helps your heart. Broccoli supports flexible arteries and smooth blood flow. That means better circulation to your legs and your brain. And better circulation means more oxygen, more energy, more sharpness. When your brain receives steady blood flow, you think faster, remember more clearly, and react with confidence. Let's revisit Harold. You remember him. 72, retired truck driver. Used to eat mashed potatoes every night. Then he made one small change. He swapped them out for broccoli. 1 cup. Steamed. No butter, no cheese, just a clean, powerful vegetable. 2 weeks later, his knees were more stable. His legs less swollen. He said, "I don't dread the stairs anymore." That is not a coincidence. That is broccoli doing its job. And here is the beauty of it. You do not need a mountain of broccoli. A single cup, lightly steamed, delivers a powerful dose of nutrients. It helps you think more clearly, move more confidently, and stay upright in moments when stability matters most. Cooking matters here too. Boiling for too long can destroy sulforaphane, so aim for light steaming or a gentle sauté with olive oil. That protects the nutrients and boosts absorption. Broccoli also helps stabilize blood sugar. That is key. Because blood sugar spikes and crashes, the kind you get from refined carbs or sugary snacks, are exhausting. They leave you tired, irritable, and inflamed. Broccoli's fiber helps slow digestion and smooth out those highs and lows. Think of it as nutritional insurance. You may not feel its power immediately, but over time, Meal after meal, it builds you up. It strengthens your foundation. And in a world full of quick fixes and supplements, it is refreshing to know that something as simple as a vegetable can still make a difference. You don't need another pill. You don't need a complicated cleanse. You just need a fork and a choice. And when that choice is broccoli, you're choosing strength, clarity, and resilience. So next time you pass by the broccoli at the store or push it aside on your plate, pause. Look again. You might be looking at one of the most important foods for your future. Because broccoli is not just food. It is a message to your cells, your joints, your brain. And that message is simple. Stay strong, stay steady, keep going. Spinach is more than just a leafy green. It is a quiet force, a powerhouse disguised in softness. You have heard all your life that spinach is healthy. But once you pass the age of 60, spinach becomes more than just healthy. It becomes strategic. It becomes protection. It becomes preparation for the decades ahead. One of the biggest challenges in aging is not just wear and tear. It is disconnection. Disconnection between your brain and your muscles, between your intention and your action. That hesitation when you go to stand. That small delay before your foot responds to the step. That unsteadiness that makes you avoid stairs or crowds or even a walk around the block. Much of that comes down to circulation. Blood carries oxygen, and oxygen is what powers your brain, your reflexes, your coordination. As we age, circulation slows, but spinach helps reverse that. Why? Because it is rich in natural nitrates. These compounds help dilate your blood vessels. That means better blood flow, more oxygen reaching your brain, faster signals traveling from your mind to your muscles, sharper reaction time, smoother movement, more confidence in every step. And that change, from hesitation to confidence, is life-changing. I once worked with a man named Earl, 71. Lived alone. He had stopped going to church because the stairs felt too risky. He told me, "I just don't trust my body anymore." I looked at his diet. It was simple but bland, not much green. I asked him to add a handful of spinach every day, in his eggs, in a smoothie, lightly sautéed at dinner. 2 weeks later, he called me and said, "I went back to service this morning. I didn't grab the rail once." That is what spinach can do. And that's just the beginning. Spinach also contains 2 key antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. These protect your eyes, especially the macula, the part of your retina responsible for sharp vision. As you age, that part weakens. Things blur. Reading becomes harder. Driving at night becomes dangerous. But with enough of these nutrients, that decline can slow. Your vision stays clearer. You keep reading labels. You see the smiles on faces. You stay connected. It does not stop there. Spinach delivers magnesium and folate, both essential for nerve function and mood stability, and vitamin K, which supports bone strength. These are not just numbers on a label. These are building blocks. They help you stand taller, feel lighter, think faster. Now, let's talk preparation. Do not boil spinach until it's limp and lifeless. That washes away the nutrients. Instead, try a quick sauté with olive oil, or blend it raw into a smoothie. Just a small amount, a handful, can make a big difference. And it is inexpensive, easy to store, and always available. Spinach is not a trend. It is a foundation, a food you can count on. A reminder that sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful. And now that we've reached the end of our journey, let's look back at what we've discovered. You've learned about 3 common vegetables: white potatoes, eggplants, green bell peppers, that may be quietly stealing your strength, slowing your thinking, weakening your balance. They are not evil, but in the aging body, they require caution. And you've learned about 3 power foods: carrots, broccoli, spinach. That can lift you. That can protect your legs, sharpen your mind, support your heart. Not with hype, but with real, cellular-level science. These choices matter. Not in some abstract way, but in how you wake up tomorrow, in whether you reach for the railing, in whether you feel strong enough to join that walk, that visit, that gathering. You are not helpless. You are not too late. Your body listens to what you feed it. Every meal is a message. Every bite is a direction. You can tell your body, I still want to live well. You can say, I still care about strength, about clarity, about independence. And your body, even now, will respond. So as you head into the kitchen, into the market, into your next meal, remember what you've learned here. Choose wisely. Eat like someone who plans to keep walking, keep thinking, keep loving life, because you still can.